Making good on a midterm promise, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will bring a controversial bill to the floor that has conservative leaders warning about what they see as a threat to religious freedom. The bill promises equality while banning discrimination. But as correspondent David Spunt reports, there's a growing and somewhat unique coalition against it.
Here we are today. We're proud to stand with members from both sides of the Capitol to take a momentous step toward full equality for LGBTQ Americans and for our country.
Call it an expansion of the Civil Rights Act, adding protections for members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community.
In most states in this country, a gay couple can be married on Saturday, post their wedding photos to Instagram on Sunday, and lose their jobs or get kicked out of their apartments on Monday.
Currently, there is no federal law protecting LGBTQ people. The laws change state by state. The Equality Act, if passed into law, would change that.
The Equality Act erases the legal definition of sex.
Natasha Chart, a self-proclaimed feminist, says she's normally lockstep with measures protecting the LGBTQ community, but she's against the proposed bill.
It means that there's no official definition of the word woman, for example, except someone who feels like a woman. And it's our opinion that if the law can't see women, if it cannot recognize what a woman is, it can't pass laws to protect us.
Some conservatives agree.
The idea that a man can simply decide that he's a woman and then enter our safe spaces, our bathrooms, our locker rooms.
In a 2000 interview while running for president in the Reform Party, Donald Trump said he was in favor of sexual orientation protections. LGBTQ advocacy groups are furious with the president for what they call an about-face. In a statement, the president of GLAAD took a shot directly at President Trump. Quote, LGBTQ Americans will not forget the president's politically craven flip-flop on this fair and just legislation, which further cements his administration's legacy of being the most anti-LGBTQ government in recent memory.
And the White House released a statement to Fox News. I want to read it. Quote, the Trump administration absolutely opposes discrimination of any kind and supports the equal treatment of all. However, this bill in its current form is filled with poison pills that threaten to undermine parental and conscience rights, end quote. The president has yet to speak about this on camera, Shannon. Of course, this will come up on the House floor in just a few days on Friday. Back to you.
All right, David Spunt, thank you very much. Interesting piece. Natasha Chart and Penny Nance, one a radical feminist, the other one a conservative. They write together about this and say, listen, we're speaking about this together and saying this is going to be terrible. Men and boys are going to take away women's small business grants, hard-won spots on sports teams. They'll be allowed to live in women's domestic violence shelters, use our locker rooms. And united as women, we're not going to let this stand. They say Christian conservative women speaking against this legislation, not surprising, but that radical feminists and lesbians are joining voices with them should be a wake-up call, redefining gender identity, sex, those kinds of things. I need a quick comment from both of you. Capri, I'll start with you.
Well, first off, I mean, I think we need to recognize, number one, this law is silent on things like what happens to minors. So let's put that aside. I also want to be totally transparent in saying that I did co-sponsor similar legislation to protect the LGBT community in Ohio for housing and employment discrimination. But here's the thing. Number one, this isn't going to pass. Number two, there are 28 amendments, or it will pass the House. It will not become law. 28 amendments that are presented by Republicans. If you want to deal with the issue in regards to the religious exemptions or the religious challenges, let's actually go through regular order. Let's hear those amendments. Let's actually have the legislative process occur.
Eric, can the two work together?
Absolutely. And the same thing with the issue of pornography. I mean, at some point, the left in America has gotten so crazy that it's like a snake eating its own tail. You have people, even like Joe Biden, unable to stand up to the madness of laws like this that are telling women that you have to compete in high school against huge men that are deluded into thinking that they're women, and we're not going to protect you. We're going to do nothing for you. Unless people in the Democratic Party speak up against this, they're going to lose everybody. It's very, very dramatic.
Okay, well, we'll watch this bill.